and welcome to Broker Tools, where we unpack the tools, systems, and strategies that help brokers optimize the way they work. I'm Katie, your host, and today we are catching up with Andy from Effi. For those of you who don't know what Effi is, it's a workflow management software made specifically for the mortgage broker who wants to stay on top of their lending inquiries, follow-ups, and follow-throughs. It is one software that handles client inquiries, fact finds, document collections, signatures, and can integrate with some of your favorite aggregator platforms, as well as Illion and Quickly. If you have been hunting for a way to manage your workflow, then Effi might be the platform for you. Andy, welcome to the pod.
Thank you. Very excited to be here.
I'm glad that you're excited. I mean, as with always with these pods, we always have a pre-chat. It's always great to do them. But we were talking that you actually had a career in doctors, which I did not know about for this.
Yeah, so before my time coming into Effi, I was previously in the medical industry for 10 years, consulting doctors and training doctors how to use a CRM. And these doctors are not your regular GP doctors either. These are specialist surgeons, cardiologists, dermatologists, all those type of high level type of doctors, and brain surgeons. And they've got great experience around healthcare wise and saving lives, but when it comes to technology, this is where it's all very manual, and bringing me on board is helping them to educate how they can run their practices and businesses more efficient. But for a lot of you who don't know, these surgeons work 24 hours, meaning if there's a phone call, an emergency surgery or something, they out of bed, into the car in 10 minutes and off they go to do surgery, half asleep. And with that knowing, where's all the family time gone? Not much there. So where I come in is help to create efficiency, more automations for them, give back at least 1 to 4 hours of their day they can spend with the family, build some happiness, and that's something I really enjoy. And after 10 years, I decided to switch into the finance industry, and here I am with Effi over close to 5 years now. I was one of the founding members as the first hire coming on board. The company was a startup. It was very young, and 5 years down the track, it's now in the scale-up mode. So it's been a great journey. Technology all along the way as well, and coming from a medical industry into finance, there was a lot of learning curves for myself as well. So I had a lot of brokers who helped me along the way to understand the industry, business operations, and much more, the challenges, what they face on a daily basis.
Yeah. And I guess this is like the journey most entrepreneurs on. Most people are not straight out of school and into mortgage broking. They've usually done something maybe before they've got into it, and then they've found their way into it. You are the same, as in you did something else. It was obviously CRM based, and you found a really, I guess, need inside of it to automate and streamline things so that people can get more time with their family. I mean, you don't realize that, well, it's not always family. Obviously, efficiency in work means opportunities to grow your business however you choose. But in many of the conversations you and I've had with our clients, family is probably a big topic.
Absolutely. As everyone here has heard, everyone talks about work-life balance. And some of the things I've learned coming into this finance industry, brokers work just as close as what doctors do. They're all around the clock. Clients will reach out to them at 6 p.m. because 9 to 5s are usually their other regular jobs that they do, and they don't think about growth and scale when it hits 6 o'clock and onwards. And if I can't relieve that time, this is where Effi technology can actually help relieve your 9 to 5, putting a lot of tools in there to give you a little bit of a gap where you can have a time for yourself and time to regroup yourself, or even focus on sales or something where you can convert more. But yeah, it's a really good learning curve for me, and I thank you all the brokers for educating me all along the way who have spoken to me and still in contact with me. So it's a blessing.
Yeah. Where did actually Effi start off as? Because I mean, obviously right now you're in the epic time of all these AI automations. but it didn't always start off there. Where was Effie in the beginning?
Yeah, great one story is because when I first joined Effi, it was a lead generation type of company where we provided leads predominantly. But the CRM itself, it was very didn't have a lot of functions and features in it. It was purely just a service per lead generations. But what happened over the years is that as it evolved, more and more brokers were asking for more things. And the thing I couldn't understand is, why do brokers need so many CRMs, or why are they requesting for so many different features and functionalities?
Mm.
And and that's where I started to get a bit more analytical, and I started to do a lot more discoveries and asking a lot of learning questions. I always ask the brokers, hey, can I ask you a learning question? Why do these things happen? And for some odd reason, they were happy to share these stories and experiences. And I've noticed that a lot of the heavy lifting is happening on the broker side of things, of trying to convert more leads, and things are slipping through the cracks. And that's where my mind started to kick in, how I could help businesses be more efficient, close up those gaps, and convert better. Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess this is the evolution of Effie, because obviously you thought the main headache a broker had was leads, and sure, that is a main headache, but managing that follow up and follow through is the second part of that same headache.
Yeah, I felt like there's a ripple effect. When you have, what I've noticed, some of the broker businesses didn't, they always knew there's the first problem of their business, which is the lead. But once that's been solved, then they don't know what the next steps are sometimes.
Mm,
I'm no broker myself. I'm just a technology guy. I just do consulting and train brokers how to use a CRM. And I've noticed that when they do have leads, then the next challenge they're facing is that, how do I make 50 phone calls a day?
mm,
And then I realize I can't even make 50 phone calls a day myself either. And so if
yeah,
you try to figure out the mix of the phone calls, what if you get some nice phone calls? Great, but what if you get some nasty phone calls too? Can that
yeah,
actually demotivate you? It may not demotivate a broker that's been in the industry for 5 years, but it can easily demotivate a broker that's only been less than 2 years.
mm.
So therefore, technology. Then I thought about automations, nurturing, and this whole AI where we are today, how it could help businesses relieve some of that heavy lifting, and broker stays on the positive, productive side of things.
Yeah, and I guess that is the evolution, because as you noticed along the way of your journey of just even solving the first part, there were all these other tiny parts that happened further down the chain. And what you have done at Effie, alongside Mandeep and the others,
Mm.
is solve each of those incremental issues along the
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, lead generation was the first component, and then the second component to this, I call it the stage two, is the tracking and the lead management of it. How many of people here have heard that you've got a customer to do a fact find and a document collection, but the broker had no clue. Then when he calls the customer said, "I did it 3 days ago. Where were you?"
Mm,
That's the gap. That's the tracking part. There's no nudge to the broker to let them know, hey, this is done. Get onto it now before this lead fizzles out. And we solved a lot of that as well using some of our cool tools and cool indicators today. And of course, as you solve that stage two, there's always going to be a stage three and stage four, and it keeps going. But if you piece it all together, it becomes a well-oiled machine to handle all the heavy lifting, and brokers can now really be productive and just focus on sales and targets.
yeah, and I guess when you look at it as a whole platform, and maybe we should probably have like a little tour of Effie in and of itself, so that people get a good visual of that whole journey of how
Mm.
someone could use it. But it is that piece where people can actually even use the chat to book an appointment. Like, you've got an interface that makes that easy for people to self-book in. So you don't even have to do the lead generation. If the clients, like, as in any of what I'm trying to say is, if any broker is already generating their own leads, you've got an easy way for that lead to come into the system.
Yes, correct. So I give you a very scenario that I'm dealing with a broker business today. This is a group of 10 brokers. Um, One of the things that they're with an aggregator, which is great. And the challenge that they had was they had a lot of referring partners. They've got real estate, they've got accountants, they got their websites, they've got landing pages, and they even got a marketing agency to do all these cool leads. And the challenge is to try to streamline it all through into one system. So with Effi, we are able to connect all those sort of partners digitally to streamline the whole thing through Effi, and Effi has a way to filter all your leads for you. So we've got the AI technologies today that can help and handle those phone calls are going to be your voice AI. These voice AI can be trained by you. You can have an opening line just as like a human would have. You can also train in a way to ask certain questions to pre-qualify the leads too. Are you currently employed? Are you looking to purchase or refinance and things like that? It can do a lot of those things. And then lastly, at the very end, is to book an appointment into your calendar. So within Effi, as you set up your profiles, you connect your calendar, the AI will know to dive into your calendar and look at the availabilities. The last thing you want to do is get an appointment coming through and you've already got an appointment booked in with somebody else. That's double booking. And what happens? Someone's going to miss out, which means you're going to lose one of these opportunities. Our AI technology avoids a lot of that. So your calendar will be nice and full with warm leads waiting for your phone call this time, not the other way around.
Nice.
Mm.
Nice. And I think for those who may be on the slightly AI scared side of things, what guardrails and what safety in data, security policies do you have in place?
Yeah, so for security-wise, the Effi platform itself is SOC 2 compliant, and today a lot of the aggregators has gone through the due diligence and given us a hands up that it's good to use. Now, in terms of the AI, yes, with AI we've got a good data set in there to over the years we've collated, and we say these are the things that the AI should not say. So to give you a good example is if anyone was to use a digital AI out there today that is not Effi, ask them a question, what's the best interest rate? And what's going to happen? These AIs are going to say all sorts of stuff. But what happens when the lead lands to the broker and the broker and the customer said, hey, your AI, your assistant said this much, now you're telling me this much. What is going on here? It causes a lot of confusion. It causes issues for the broker to actually proceed with the deal. So we've trained in a way where not to mention certain things such as what's the best interest rate today. That should be handled by the broker and discuss that with the broker. Things like you would have questions like, can you tell me what is the bank's policies of this lender? Well, we tell the AI that please refer that to the broker because only the broker can discuss this with the customer, not at this point in time because it's too early stages. Because the way we fence and guardrail it is we set certain goals to do a mini fact find, book an appointment to the broker. If there's any questions out of that, anything to do with compliance or rates, that needs to be handled by the broker themselves in their appointment of their phone call.
Nice. And I think this is, I guess, some of the key things around making sure AI works for you, because we've had this discussion many times, but guardrails don't always work. So how do you protect, I guess, from maybe prompt injections and other things?
Yes. So with our AI technology today, we've kind of built it in our system where it's hosted privately within our environment. It's not publicly listed out there that you can just go use it. I've seen some AI technologies out there where there might be issues where people can prompt things to do things that the broker never asked for, which is can be like a breach of privacy sort of stuff. But the way we built it, we kept it all within Effi. So if you are a subscriber with Effi, you go through the terms, conditions, and everything. It's all guardrail within our CRM. You can't use it outside of our CRM today. And that's same thing with our customer portals. There's been times where businesses said, Andy, can you just expose all the fact find on my website? And the answer is no. What happens if someone obtains your website? Then all the information is there. So we always encourage everyone to come into the portal because there's an OTP code that goes to the SMS on the customer's phone. If they enter that in, then that must be generally you. So therefore, we show them all the fields you can complete the application. So we do it in that sort of sense of that way to protect the business, but also protect the customer data as well.
Nice. And I guess this is the key thing. So if you are a broker listening to this and trying to understand more about what Effi does, ultimately it's your lead management platform. There is probably what, 3 or 4 areas of the platform, would you say, Andy?
Yes. The Effi, for those who is the first time hearing about Effi today, so Effi is predominantly a lead management platform, and where it complements your existing CRM that you use today for your lodgements. And where does Effi actually sit in your business is going to be the early stages for your customers. This is where you got a new inquiry coming in. You're going to give your customers a really nice intuitive portal and these customer portals are very secure, and they'll get an OTP code to access. It's all to your branding as well. And this is what can be done on the computer. It can also be on your mobile phone. So brokers, if you have any self-employed type of customers, you know them, all the boys in the Hiluxes, they never carry laptops around. They'll do everything off their mobile phone. So that will give them an SMS. They can go there, upload, do all the application, do all the documents there, camera roll, whichever. And I think with that as well, I've seen from my experiences with a lot of fact finds, you're trying to utilize other fact finds that's not something tailored to you. With Effi, we can tailor a fact find that you're already comfortable with or you've built it out over the last 4 to 5 years. We can have the same secret sauce within Effi, so therefore your customers getting the same experience again, rather than trying to get them to do something comprehensive. But Katie, the strange thing is that when I'm in this industry for this many years and dealing with brokers, the
Yep.
biggest thing they always tell me is I have a huge dropout rate. And I'm like, what does that mean? Leads come in, I send them a welcome email or give them a PDF via email, and they look at it, they freak out because there's just too many questions. And when I try to chase them up, and the first thing they say is, "Oh, sorry, I'll come back to you tonight,"
Yeah.
and they hang up. But what happens when that phone call ends? You don't actually hear from them, and you keep chasing and chasing, and before you know it, the lead's already fizzled out because you made it too hard for them. But strangely, I'm in Sydney, and Sydney behaviors are very fast paced. They want things done quickly. They want to know what they could borrow, and then they're already getting ready to go to open homes and things like that. So with the Effi Fact Find, you can customize it. You can shrink it down to be the mini, get all the information, click a button, do quickly servicing very quickly. And this is all done ahead of your appointment, your first initial appointment that they booked in already. So which means you're already prepped and geared up for the phone call conversation to take them to the next step.
Nice. And I guess one of the other great features of your fact find is if you wanted to, you can make it like a mini fact find or a pre-discovery form, whichever you want to call it, but you don't have to send the whole fact find at the beginning of it. You can just gather a couple of pieces of data. But to save double entry, once you've got that data, then if later down the track you want to send more, you can open that up.
Yeah, correct. So with how I do things today, and I've learned about this as well, when we have the mini fact finding is completed, enough for you to do a quick servicing check. If the customer qualifies, as you move the lead to a stage called qualified, it will open up the rest of the fact find. This is where it goes into the other components of financial security questions and things like that. So therefore, you can pre-fill the whole application as much as you can. And then once it's passed beyond qualified, you can now send that application and the documents back to your regular CRMs from there.
Yes, and by regular CRMs, you integrate with a few aggregators.
Yes, correct. So one of the great things I've learned over the years is that I was looking at some other CRMs out there in the market, and I've noticed that a lot of them just had one integration with one particular aggregator. And with the founder of Effi, we've built a really good relationship with a lot of the aggregators, and they had to do all the due diligence, and we had to get SOC 2 and things like that to get put in place. And here we are, after 5 years, we integrate with majority of the aggregators in the market today. That gives the brokers a relief, is because one of their pain points is to kind of like do the double handling of the data. Now, as of today in Effi, you just click one button, it sends as much as information as it can back into the aggregate CRMs. And the thing that I've also learned is that every aggregate CRMs have a different level of how much data can pass back.
Yeah.
So to give you a name of one of them is, if we look at SFG, they use a pretty advanced CRM, and it has a lot of the fields available. We can pass back at least 9% of that data back, including documents as well. And some others, depending on how advanced their CRMs are, they'll depend on the level how much data we can pass back. Yeah.
Nice. Did you want to give us a little quick tour of Effi and show us around so that people really get an understanding of what those features are?
Sure, happy to share the screen and get everyone a bit of visualization what Effi can look like, but also a quick demo just to show you where does everything sit, where does your referrer sit, what does the Kanban view look like, some of the cool functionalities in there. Even I'll show you a little voice AI after call, what information actually collects as well.
Nice.
So give it a moment. I'm just going to hit that share screen right now. And just let me know when you are there.
It's up.
All right, terrific. So here, what I'm presenting to you here is, this is my demo account. And as you are utilizing Effi, you can white label it. You can put your own company logos. You can also update your profile pictures and things like that. But just a quick snapshot for today for the ones who haven't seen what Effi looks like. So just remember, this is a pure lead management platform focusing on ingesting a lot of your leads, but also do quick discoveries with your customers. So left-hand side, this is our menus today. So you can have leads, you can purchase leads as well, add all your referring partners. We've got Power BI for reports. For anyone here that's also focusing on post-settlement, we've got a cool new retention tool, which I can reveal to you in the next video. Email automations, and we've got much more functionality and flexibility down below. But for today, let's go look at the Kanban board. So as I mentioned before, that a lot of these brokerages that I dealt with, they have a lot of referring partners. So with our system, as you add them as a referring partner of your website, all the leads will feed into the first column, and all this is all customizable. So you might say that, Andy, I not just do home loans, I do assets and commercials and much more. You can create flows, you can create a back office flow as well. But behind these stages here, I did mention earlier that we do have a voice AI, and the goal of the voice AI is to reach out to your customers very quickly after they complete some sort of form to be contacted, and it will do, the first phone call happens at the new inquiry. This will then get a capture of, are they looking to purchase or refinance? Do you have any deposits? Have you found the property that you're interested in? And would you like to book in time with Andy? And it dives into my calendar, books in a time. But what happens from there is that once the appointment's been booked, the lead actually moves automatically into appointment booked. And for brokers, this is the time where you can start tracking the customer a little bit better. So to give you an example, there is a customer that's in the follow-up stage right now called Jesse. We can see how much of the fact find's been done and how much of the documents been done as well. We can flag you when it hits 50%, and we can also flag you when they've done half of the documents. So therefore, brokers, you'll always stay on top of your leads so they don't fizzle out. How it moves to a different stage is that we set up SLAs. So from my learnings, a lot of brokers said to me, Andy, once the appointment's been booked, I want to give the customer at least 4 hours to complete the application because they get a welcome email. But after 4 hours, it needs to move into a follow-up, and it needs to trigger another phone call. So what you're about to see now is that my voice AI can make the second phone call. The first phone call here is initially to, what was the summary? He's purchasing, investment, his budget is this is his decision, and this is the follow-up of the appointment time, and that's been booked into my calendar. And here's the audio to listen to the audio as well. I'm going to give it a try to see if this works, but I'm going to hit this play button.
Hello, Jesse speaking.
Can you hear that?
Jesse, I'm calling from Effi.
I can.
My name is Janet, who will be assisting Andy, your primary
Tone,
finance
everyone.
broker. Thank you for your interest, and how can we assist you further?
Yeah, I'm looking to purchase an investment property.
Great, thanks for sharing that. Just letting you know we're on a recorded line, and I might take some notes as we chat for any next steps. Is that okay with you?
Yes, fine.
Thanks, Jesse. Can you tell me a little about what type of property you're considering? Is it a house or apartment?
Looking at buying a house.
All right, so
I do love you've got like little fake keyboards in the background there.
yeah, so the biggest things are, over the years I've learned that the broker said to me, Andy, I've been using a lot of AI voice calls, and there's always a pause and it sounds robotic, and it's not going to work. So I was like, how do I cover that gap? So smartly enough, I was like, how about I put a bit of a keyboard sound in the background so it sounds like an office, it sounds like a call center, not work from home type of assistant. That was the first one. And the second one was around the voice. If anyone was to use some voice AIs in the market in the past, it sounded a bit choppy, it sounds a bit pixelated and robotic. If you listen to this tone, the way she introduced herself is very humanized, but also the level of her voice as well, it's very professional. And that's where this is going to help they take that heavy lifting of those phone calls. And by the way, everyone, my voice AI can make 500 phone calls in one hit. So if you upload 100 leads and this makes 100 phone calls, if you can get 20 appointments out of that and get all these summaries ahead of your appointment time, you're ready to take the customer to the next step. Now, I did mention to you that there is a second phone call that happens in the follow-up. So in this follow-up section here, it calls the customer again. It can go through the fact find questions over the phone and it will pre-fill the application within Effi, which means half of the application is done in Effi. You can now push it back to your regular CRMs to take them to the next steps to reach them to the apply line. But this is a sort of tool that's going to help you to move the leads along fairly quickly. That's the voice AI. And somebody did mention to me about the fact find. Just remember, everyone, our system is very flexible. So if you do have a secret source of the way you do fact find, you can have it in here as well. You can have a summary page. You can shorten it to give a customer a better experience.
Great. And a lot of this is customizable to you. And can you customize the type of AI voice? Because if you like, you and I have personality, let's be honest. And so if you want to come across as a certain type of personality,
absolutely,
that might be a bit too professional, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. We can make those customizations. And I think the other AI, this is like the stage 3, if everyone remembers, where we break up into stages. Stage 3 is that one of our other AI tools now, we have a document analyzer, which means that if the customer, even your initial phone call, it sends out the driver's license, passport, payslip request, and then we have an AI analyzer where it can actually check the document, scans the document against the application, and gives you some of these signals. If it's red, here are the reasoning as it's detected the document, but also have a look at the payslip. It has a fraud detection capability as well. So this is stage 3 now. And this is where the brokers get more heavily involved with the customer because the customer is qualified.
Yeah.
Cool. But with the voice AI, yes, there is a way for you to be able to have different voice. It can be male, female. It can have an American accent. It can have Australian accent. It can be professional. It can be very upbeat. Upbeat meaning very bubbly, very lively type of personality. You can have that. And you can also train it to have the opening lines. As you heard, my voice AI assistant, it said, "Hi, my name is Janet from Effi Finance. I'm just calling on behalf of Andy, your primary broker. While he's just on the calls at the moment, I thought I'd be proactive to reach out to you ahead of your appointment time," and starts the conversation. And I dealt with another state manager. He said to me, "Andy, your voice AI needs to give some sort of consent for the customer to proceed." So as you heard before, it said, "Is that okay if this phone call gets recorded just for training, right, etc.?" And the person said yes. So it continued. But if you said no, it would have ended the phone call there and just guide the customer back to the website for if you need any more information, etc. We can do that too.
Oh, nice. And so you can set that up, making it all that kind of systematic process.
Correct.
And I guess if we thought about this as a whole workflow, obviously you get a lead in, they can automatically come into here, and you can actually track and measure their progress along the pipeline. You can set up your own automations to have certain things to notify you at certain stages, along with tasks and or emails, and even AI follow-ups if that automation is set in place.
Yeah, so with the automations of Effi today, and we're purely just focusing on the lead engagement side of things. So with our sort of SMS email automations, you can set them up to be at each stage when they should be sent out, and also with your own contents as well. The voice AI is already set up to follow up automatically. And as I mentioned before, the lead moves from new inquiry to appointment booked automatically to follow up automatically is because we allow you to set up some SLA rules to let the lead move along automatically. So which means you really got a really good upfront salesperson agent here to handle all that initially, and you're really focusing on when the lead is actually reaching the qualified stage. Now with email, SMS automation, task automations, it's all there to make sure the broker stays on top of the deals. It doesn't fizzle out. And you can see from here, these are little indicators to let you know, look, if Emma is halfway through the fact find, if Emma's already given up 3 of her documents already, this is the best time for the broker to make that phone call. Hey, how can I help you with the rest of it? Give them that little push to complete everything else. But can you imagine if there was no indicators? How would you know how serious these customers are? A broker may be spending the wrong time with the wrong customers, where having these indicators, oh, that's a warm lead, that's a hot lead, I'm going to get on that customer right now.
Yeah, and you can track and measure and know how long it has been sitting uncompleted, and that way you can build in that whole nurturing sequence going forward.
Correct. Follow-up sequences can be emails, 2 days later, SMS, a day later, put a label on the lead, a day later, it can just keep going. Our automation piece is quite large, just as big as if you were to use other CRMs out there that offers automations. We can go just as big, and behind the scenes of Effi, we can plug in up to 2,000 applications. So if you're using Teams, if you're using SharePoint to store your documents, we can automate that whole process for you as well.
Really nice. And I guess then the final part is, once you've collected it, you've got the AI analyzer that helps go, hey, this document is genuine, this document is not so genuine.
Correct. So what I've learned over the years is that a brokerage has told me, Andy, when my back office teams are working on this, it takes hours to do 2 things. Sorry, not hours, minutes. Number 1 is the team needs to review all the documents, right? Cross-checking the actual driver's license, cross-checking the passport against the application, and then they got to store everything away as well. They got to go into their SharePoint, OneDrive, Google Drive, put into a folder format such as date, name, item. To complete everything here, this could easily take up to 40 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Using our analyzer, we'll do this within a minute or 2. Give you all the reasonings, and also you can sync this to SharePoint manually, because you might say, hey, I want to control this manually, or you can say, Andy, need you to do it automatically for me at a stage called lodged. If any deals reaches lodged, I want this automation to happen automatically, and can be done without automations.
Nice. And by syncing to SharePoint, it's almost like getting a document download, and you have it labeled. Is that part of the process?
Yeah, so our system helps you label the folders in your SharePoint, continuing your existing structure. We can do that. But in terms of the document itself, we don't relabel the document itself. It was something that we did not explore at this point in time. But if there is a huge interest in it, we can definitely look at that as well. So that's no issue. Yeah.
Nice. And where is Effi going to next? Because obviously you've just reached this, but there's always a huge future with AI and automations.
Yeah. With Effi in the next 12 to 24 months, as we are getting more advanced around the lead ingestion, I think the next challenge that I've learned over the years is post-settlement. A lot of brokers, I've noticed, they're struggling with a bit of post-settlement. So we've now got the new retention tool. It's got a lot of smartness. And just to give everyone an example, let's just say you settled a loan. There's an expiry date. Rather than you trying to follow up manually, our voice AI would now follow up on your behalf with the customer. We'll say things like, how's everything going with the existing property? I know you settled a loan a year ago with Andy. Are you still at this address? We've just noticed that Commonwealth Bank interest rate has now changed. Would you like to speak to Andy to go through some strategies together? He's available next week. How does that sound? it can do all these sort of follow-ups, annual reviews and things like that.
Nice. So that's a really great way of keeping on top of your client follow-ups, especially when the fixed rate interest rate changes.
Correct. For a sneak peek, everyone, let me share this with you. If you can see this, here is our dashboard for your live book. So here, this gives you a real good indicator of all your settled clients of the total loan amounts, but also you can see who's going to be falling out of the interest rates as well. So you'll see 12 to 24, there are 6 customers that's going to fall out of this fixed rate term. Our AI will then can give the customer a call, be able to do the follow-ups on your behalf, book an appointment back into your calendars to go through the next financial strategy. There's much more in here, which I can expose in the next session, but this tool here is going to help you not retain your customers, but also create new opportunities for you as well.
And it ultimately is giving you better visibility over what is happening, what could be happening, and a way to keep engaged with your clients.
Exactly that. So we found that as we are starting to wrap up our lead ingestion sort of focuses, we're now starting to head into post settlements, exploring outside of home loans, going to asset finance, going to insurance space as well. It's another good opportunity for us as well. And of course, as we get more into the AI side of things, we're starting to get involved with a lot of the AI agents. So some fun things about AI agents, still early days, but we're test piloting a few at the moment, how it could help broker businesses be more efficient. And as I mentioned to you before, I'm always focusing on how do I give you time back with your family. And I think the next will be the agents is going to help that.
Nice. If people wanted to reach out to you, Andy, where should they go and what should they do?
Yeah, so if you want to see what Effi looks, just some details, you can jump onto our website, which is www.effi.com.au. But if anyone wants to book a time with me, you're more than welcome to reach out to me via email, which is andy.t@effi.com.au. If anyone else wants to check out this podcast, please do speak to Katie. And if anyone wants to tune into the next one to look at some more features, happy to do another session.
Awesome. As always, please put your comments, likes, and shares in the comments below. Again, as you may have, if you've watched any of our other podcasts, know we love to nerd out on CRMs and workflow design. So Andy and I will happily have another conversation with you if you would love us to do that. Again, Andy, thank you for joining us on the pod and going through Effi and what it is able to do for different brokers. Have a great one.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for everyone for tuning in.
See ya. Bye.
Yeah. Bye-bye.